Hey Cafe crew, it's Colin Smith here, and today I'm super excited. In fact, I can't wait to open this up. I've got the new iPad Pro. It's a 10.5-inch iPad Pro. So one of the things I noticed on unboxing videos, it seems to be the thing right now, the bigger the knife, the cooler you are. So I better up that coolness factor. Alright, so here we go. I have a nice, good sized knife here, ready to open this box. So let me put the box over here, and let me see. Alright. I really don't see this going well. I could do a line out of Braveheart. Look, I could crush you like a worm, except this is Gandalf's sword. Glamdring. Anyway. Alright, so back to, that's not a knife, this is a knife. Why, sorry. That's not a knife, this is a knife. Okay, let's pop this open. So, that is the outside box. And man, it's tough waiting for these packages. I've been sitting around as a package person all day today, waiting for UPS to show up. Ooh, pretty. Look at that. They got a big picture right on the front. Sweet. Okay. Oops. So I'll probably break it before I open it. All right. So let's have a look here. Let's cut this. This as well. I'm not using the sword. My fingers would be in ribbons by now. Would not help my guitar playing or my Photoshop for that matter. Okay. Ooh, I'm very excited. Here we go. I've never seen this before, so I'm very, very excited to see it. Pop it open. All right. Ooh. Okay, so we have packaging. All right. I'm looking at it right now, and it seems like that's the 10.5-inch. Seems a little, I gotta be honest, a little smaller than I expected. Hang on, let me, okay, this is the old one here. Oh yeah, it is bigger. I thought it'd be bigger. Sorry guys, but alright, so let's have a look at the footprint of this. Is slightly, ever so slightly bigger footprint than the old one. And of course, once I turn it on, I know the screen is bigger, because if you see there's no edges. It comes right to the edges, so aha! Alright, so there we go. There's the Apple logo. And we'll wait for all this stuff to start up. But while I'm waiting, I got some accessories. I got the pencil. So there we go, the Apple Pencil, which I've never used before. This is my first iPad Pro, so I'm very excited about that. And the case. The weird thing is, like, I jumped online the minute Apple had their announcement, and then placed the order for this. So the crazy thing is the case, or the smart keyboard, actually arrived the very next day. So I've been sitting on this for a few days, waiting for it. And wow, it's heavy. Oh, this is kind of cool. So check this out, guys. It's a case, just like a regular case that would just go over the iPad. Kind of feels a little bit like the old one in that sense. It's just like a mag case, right? So we pop it open, but ta-da, it folds down into the keyboard. Now that's pretty nifty. And it kind of locks in magnetically like that. Check that out, that's super nice. That's cool, so you can kind of carry that around like that. Just, it's a little bit more bulky than before, but not a lot. First thing I should finish the unboxing is we have the instructions. We have the power brick and the power cable. And of course, because you have the new MacBook Pro, it has the USB 3. Just a regular USB connection, which I'm actually quite happy about. Alright, so I got some scales. Let's have a look at the weight. So, why don't we turn this on? First thing we're going to do is take this older iPad. I can't remember if it's an iPad 1 or a 2. It might be the original. And if we put that on the scales, that comes in at 1 pound and 7 ounces. let's take the iPad Air 2, which is basically the iPad before the iPad Pro. And so this one comes in at 15.5 ounces, just under a pound. And let's see what this Pro comes in. So this one comes in at 1.1 pounds. Okay, that's pretty amazing considering the size difference. This one's just a little bit bigger. The fact that it weighs just 1.1 pounds, that's pretty good. And when I hold it in my hand, it feels, it doesn't feel heavier than the iPad Air 2, so that's kind of nice. The one thing I didn't want was a huge iPad Pro, the big thing that looked like a, serving dish or something. I don't know. Some people love that. I like it. It would be nice for drawing and sketching, but it just didn't feel very portable to me, whereas this one does feel more portable. Now that it's kind of lit up, you can kind of see it now. You've got some pretty good screen real estate on there. Look at that. See how it just kind of goes all the way to the edges. If I was to compare this with the Air, let's turn that on. So compare that to the Air 2, you can see there's quite a bit more screen real estate there. The physical size of this is actually not much bigger than the other one, but it has a lot more screen real estate. That's kind of nice. So let me have a look at the thickness. Let's compare the thickness of these. Yep. Okay, so this is scientifically speaking, it's a smidge thicker. Just a smidge. Oh, maybe half a smidge. Half a smidge thicker, but a lot less thinner than this aircraft carrier right here. So one of the other things I've noticed here is the camera sticks out a little bit more, whereas this one was flush in the older one. So that kind of reminds me a little bit of the iPhone 7. If you notice on the iPhone 7, it kind of sticks out a little bit because it does have the better camera. But notice what it doesn't have is it doesn't have the dual lenses for zooming and things like that. So it's not going to do that portrait mode, which is okay because honestly, I see people walking around taking photos of iPads. I mean, if you do that, that's okay. If it's the only camera you own, it's okay. But like, really, no, this is not a camera. This is, you're taking a photo, good gust of wind, and this will blow you over. It's a little shorty keyboard. It's not like a long keyboard. Look at that. It's a little shorty keyboard there, but it feels quite nice. And the keys are actually nicely positioned. We've got a numeric keyboard at the top and the bottom. And one of the things I found when I was typing, it actually feels really good. In fact, I'm going to say it feels better to me than the Surface Pro. Let me just check that. Hold on one second. I love how they call it a kickstand. Like it's a bicycle or a motorbike. Alright, so if I put that down here, and I type on there, it definitely does. I don't know about the latest one. This is the Surface Pro 3, which is, a little bit older. Alright, so right now I'm still waiting for things to update on here. It's downloading movies and games and all these kind of things. So I'm sure that the performance is just going to be really good. So why don't we wait for some of those to download? Alright, just waiting for things to load up. Shouldn't take too long. What? I don't have a fidget spinner. It's done. Saved by the iPad. Alright, this stuff is loaded on. So let's have a look. And one of the things I want to try out is the music. So I'm going to choose some music here and see what this sounds like.
It feels good in my heart, in my soul when you're right here beside me. I don't ever want.
Wow, that has got a lot more volume and the sound is a lot better for the music. I'm listening to this like normally if you're traveling you need some kind of a beatbox or something to plug it into, but this is actually sounding really good. And in fact, if anything, you turn the volume down a little bit, it's pretty loud. Wow. Man, the stereo sounds really good. It's got speakers on both sides, and the stereo imaging is actually quite impressive. And the pitch is really nice, real sharp, looking really good. So yeah, for movies, this is nice. All right, what else have we got here? I've never used this pencil before, so I think if I shove it into the bottom here, that activates it and charges it. Bluetooth pairing request. Yes, let's pair these puppies. And let's pull it out and see if it works. Wow, look at that. Just like that. Now, the pencil is paired to that. See that? Okay, so I'm not drawing yet, but man, this feels pretty good. Like the response on this is quite impressive. I'm now here using Adobe Draw, and I'm gonna grab the brushes. Let's see what we've got here. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. Pretty impressive. I mean, is it as good as a Wacom? Well, no. It's not quite as good as a Wacom, but for an iPad, this is really a nice drawing experience. In the past, you know, with those big, you know, tools and stuff like that, I just could never adjust to drawing on the iPad. It just didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. But I gotta be honest here, with this pencil and this, it actually feels pretty good. And I have a feeling, you know, something I'm gonna start doing, which is part of the reason why I bought the iPad Pro, because I wanted the pencil. I also wanted the much more powerful processors, video card, more space, everything like that. Because when iOS 11 comes out really soon, I'm really stoked about that. Some of the new features like the multitasking. I'm really excited about the folders. You know, things like that, to me, change everything. Will this become a computer replacement for me? Probably not. But with, you know, this new iPad Pro, it feels really good. I'm really excited about it. Let's compare the brightness of the screen with the iPad Pro 10.5 versus the iPad Air 2. So there's the iPad Pro. And there's the iPad Air 2. So you can see it's quite a bit brighter. Maybe you will use these. These do make great fill lights, by the way, when you're doing photography. Look at that. So you take one here and one there. Look at that. They do, there we go. So you can actually do pretty decent lighting with iPads. Not that I'm saying you should buy these as $1,000 lights or anything like that. Like, you know, let's address the elephant in the room. Everybody's asking. Will it fit on your DJI controller? Well, let's have a look. Because as you know, the old one just kind of pops in here. The iPad, not the iPad Pro, well actually the smaller iPad Pro will. And the iPad Air 2 fits in there nicely. But this one's a little bit bigger, so let's pull it all the way up. And let's test it right now. Ooh, it's tight. It's very tight, but you know what? A little bit of just kind of some gentle elbow grease, and that will fit in there. So you will be able to use this for your FPV, for your drone. That's good news. So anyway, I got the 256 gig one with the Wi-Fi only seems good for me. If I ever need to use wireless, I can always use a hotspot on my phone. I don't see the point in activating another device. Also, the extra money for the wireless, which previous models I had that and really just never used it. So I like this. It feels, you know, more or less the same weight, even though it's a slight bit heavier than the Air 2. It's not by very much. It's really, you don't notice it. It feels very, very light. The shell doesn't feel much bigger than the previous model. In fact, you probably saw when I opened it, I was a little bit surprised. I expected it to be bigger. But once you kind of put them side by side, you do see there's a lot more screen real estate on here because of the rejection of the bezel around the edge there. So it's a much better use of space. The speed, it does feel very quick, very, very snappy. So, you know, this is great. The other thing I really like is the smart cover here with the smart keyboard. It's a lot less bulky than I expected, and it doubles as a cover, so you don't have to get an extra cover. And when you need it, this keyboard folds out, and honestly, I'm really, really surprised how good this keyboard feels. I might be able to start typing it. Now, is this going to be a PC replacement or computer replacement? For me, no. Just the way it feels and everything, it feels good quality. I like the response. It's a great device. Real happy I got it. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the subscribe button right now because I do a new tutorial at least once a week. And if you want to get that, you need to be a subscriber, and then you'll be alerted when my new videos come out. Also, hit that little alert icon, you know, the thing that looks like the Taco Bell. Give that a ding. And whenever I produce a new video, you should get a notification about that. So anyway, add a comment. What do you guys think about the comment? Okay, I know what you've been asking me. Everyone wants to ask me about MacBook Pro and the iMac Pro. You know what? I'm going to do a separate video on that, so we're not going to get into that at all. But you know, have a look at my other video that I made. It tells you why I returned my previous MacBook Pro. Why I didn't like it. Many reasons. Check that out. So anyway, guys, add a comment. Hit that like button, please. I really appreciate all those likes. And until next week, I'll see you at the cafe. Oh, and one other thing I really dig about this. See that picture there? No, it's not mine. But it's a drone picture.